Welcome to today's Explainer. Look, right now, as we speak, a highly urgent and frankly terrifying crisis is unfolding in real time. We're going to break down exactly what's happening on the ground in southern France, the environmental triggers behind it, and the massive emergency response underway. Let's get straight into the facts. You've probably seen the alarming headlines, right? The shocking footage completely dominating the breaking news cycle. Following the absolutely punishing heat waves that have just been suffocating Europe recently, a devastating series of wildfires has erupted, and it is rapidly spreading across multiple regions in southern France. This situation is escalating fast, and honestly, it's a stark reminder of just how vulnerable our natural landscapes have become. We're talking about massive, sprawling swaths of forest just burning, thick plumes of smoke literally blocking out the sun, and an incredibly dangerous environment for local communities. Section 1. Southern France in severe wildfires. The immediate crisis. Okay, let's dive into this. To truly grasp the staggering scale of the destruction unfolding around Marseille in the south of France right now, you really just need to consider this number, 1,000. Over 1,000 hectares of forest land have already been completely decimated by the flames. To put that into perspective for a second, we're talking about an area equivalent to thousands of football fields of lush, natural woodland that has just vanished, reduced to ash. And the scary part, this isn't some slow-moving threat. It is a highly volatile, completely dynamic emergency. Because the fires are still raging, that 1,000-hectare mark is unfortunately just a baseline. The speed of this destruction is terrifying for residents and the emergency services trying to contain it.
Because of that ferocious speed, the human impact has been immediate and severe. Authorities have had to urgently evacuate thousands of people to safety. And remember, we aren't just talking about permanent residents here. Southern France is a massive summer destination. So these evacuations include high-risk tourist areas and heavily populated campsites. Imagine being on your summer vacation and suddenly you have to drop everything to flee an approaching wall of fire. It's a logistical nightmare to securely transport and shelter this many people on such incredibly short notice.
Section 2. Reasons for the fire spreading. Environmental factors. So you might be wondering, how did things get out of control so fast? Why is this particular fire expanding at such an uncontrollable rate? Well, this brilliantly illustrates how a perfect storm of environmental conditions can drive a crisis. Experts point out 3 specific compounding factors. First, that severe European heat wave we mentioned. It basically baked the region, turning all the local vegetation into tinder. Second, prolonged dry weather ensured there was absolutely no ambient moisture left in the soil or the plants to naturally slow fire down. And third, perhaps most critically right now, strong winds have moved in. These winds act like a giant bellows, aggressively pushing the flames forward faster than fire lines can even be drawn. It makes the situation exceptionally difficult for the authorities. Section 3. Massive preparation for rescue work. The national response. To fight back against this environmental perfect storm, the French government has mobilized a massive counteroffensive. The sheer human effort required here is monumental. Roughly 2,000 firefighters have been deployed nationwide to battle this blaze. Just take a second to think about the logistics and the immense bravery required for that. 2,000 personnel are currently out there on the front lines, working in extreme heat, dangerous smoke, and highly unpredictable conditions. They are literally putting their lives on the line to push back this advancing disaster. These rescue teams are executing a really comprehensive, multi-layered strategy. It's a highly tactical operation. Step 1 is an aerial assault. They're utilizing fleets of aircraft and helicopters to drop water and retardant on the most inaccessible parts of the fire. Step 2 is a massive ground defense, using hundreds of fire engines to physically block the fire's path. And Step 3 dictates the ultimate priority of all these resources, shielding residential areas and critical industrial zones from being consumed. It is a fully integrated air-to-ground battle out there. Now, to allow these 2,000 firefighters to actually do their jobs effectively, the local administration has issued strict warnings for all residents. Avoid all unnecessary travel. The emergency instructions are crystal clear. The roads absolutely must remain open for the hundreds of fire engines, the evacuation buses, and the emergency supply chains. Staying off the roads isn't just a polite suggestion right now. It's an absolutely critical part of the survival strategy for the entire region. Section 4. Extreme impact of climate change. The macro view. So, the crucial point is, this horrific event in southern France is not happening in a vacuum. It is exactly what environmental scientists have been modeling regarding changing weather patterns. We really need to shift our focus to the macro view of the global climate crisis. Let's look at this impartial but incredibly severe warning directly from the World Meteorological Organization. They clearly state, high temperatures and dry environments can further increase wildfire risks. This is the scientific reality of our current climate trajectory. As average temperatures rise and dry spells become longer, the baseline risk for these catastrophic wildfires doesn't just edge up slightly, it increases exponentially. The environment is actively being primed for these massive combustion events.
Because extreme weather events, like these heat waves and wildfires, are becoming so much more frequent across Europe, experts are unanimously pointing to a necessary shift in how we live. The consensus outlines 3 absolutely critical long-term adaptations. Number 1, enhanced forest conservation, so we can better manage the fuel loads in our woodlands. Number 2, significantly strengthen disaster management infrastructures that can mobilize instantly. And number 3, highly advanced early warning systems to detect these fires the literal second they spark. This is the new baseline, and adaptation is mandatory.
As we watch the brave firefighters in southern France continue their battle against these flames, it leaves us with a really profound realization about the state of our planet. And this brings us to a vital question that we must all reflect on. What is the most important step the world should take right now to address the root cause of this tragedy and effectively combat climate change? I want you to think deeply about that and how it shapes the future we're all building. Thank you for joining me in this explainer. Stay safe, stay informed, and I'll see you next time.